Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is TommyBryson. Yes, exactly as this t-shirt says. Tommy, imagine this is Bryson, but it's Hilfiger. But my name is TommyBryson. And in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to invest your money as a teenager. Now, the big thing is you probably think, well, I can't have that much money as a teenager. Maybe like $5,000, $10,000 saved up overall. But by the end of this video, I'll give you a way to have around $85,000 by the time you actually turn 18. Now, if I talk about teenagers and the most successful ones out there, I gotta tell you about this guy specifically, okay? Because this guy was the most famous ever teenage investor that ever lived. And by the time he turned 19, he was worth a whopping $122,813 and a whopping 45 cents. And he did this not by, for example, having money from his parents, but by going out there and building little businesses like, for example, selling newspapers, selling golf balls, selling gambling magazines, and lastly, also by investing some money like you're going to be able to do by the end of this video. And this guy, of course, is the man himself, Warren Buffett, which is back here, and now he's worth like a few $100 billion, but that is insane. But you are also going to be able to actually reach the same pinnacle that he reached by the time you turn 18. Even if it's a little less, it's still a lot of money because, by the way, $85,000 or even $122,000, the average 45-year-old, yet alone like 60-year-old, is not gonna have that much money, and you are gonna have that much money. And to me, that is awesome. So in this video, I'll tell you exactly what to invest into, how to invest, what app to use to invest, and all the details you basically need overall. And as always, do me a favor and smash the like button on top of that. Also, if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to get notified. I post content all the time about making money, starting businesses, and so on. So this channel makes you money somehow, some way, and that's always my goal. Now, the very first thing is, obviously, you're going to need to have a job in order to actually make money. I already have videos on that stuff, so I'll link those down below on videos on basically how to make money as a teenager. Now, I want you to erase the idea that as a teenager, all I can earn is whatever my parents give me. Or, for example, all I can earn is a few $100 per week, only like $200, $100, whatever. The answer is no. There are jobs that can pay you $20,000 a year, $30,000, $40,000, even $50,000 a year. The average one might be $500, for example, every single week. And that is still awesome if you ask me. Making $500 when you don't have a lot of bills is amazing. And also, second, before you get to investing money as a teen, I would recommend you start building wealth as a teen first. And those are a few steps, for example, like saving up for education, for your first apartment, for your first car, and then you get started into investing. So if you want to watch a full video on that also, on how to build those steps up first before you start investing, I'll put a link down below to that full video also. But the point is, the reason you leave this part until the very end is because when you grab whatever money you're going to put into these investment accounts, it's going to take a while for this to actually grow into a lot of money. Right? So whatever money you invest today is not going to make you a lot of money tomorrow. You're going to have to leave that money in like for a while. So you got to do the other steps first, because those things are going to make you more money today than this is going to make you tomorrow. Does that make sense? But this right here, investing as a teenager, is going to be for the long term. So when you are older, like in your 30s or 40s, you have enough money where you don't have to worry at all, which, by the way, is not normal whatsoever. Then the most important question, guys, are going to be, for example, how to invest, where to invest your money, and on top of that, what to invest your money into. So first of all, Tommy, how do I invest my money as a teenager? I just can't go and open up an account. The answer is you are correct, but you can have a custodial account. For this, you're obviously going to need, for example, a guardian or a parent to go ahead and open up the account for you. And as a custodial, they're going to go ahead and manage your account. Most of the times they open it up, let you do what you want to do, but overall, they don't own the account. You own the account. It is your account. And once you turn 18 to 25 years old, depending on how you set it up, the answer is everything is just transferred over, for example, into your name. You don't need them anymore, and then you just do your own thing. Now, one big thing is, one worry I would have always had as a kid was, well, Tommy, what if I managed to invest like $100, $300, and all of a sudden my parent grabs that money, goes on vacation, or buys some new t-shirts or whatever, or a new purse. Like, what do I do then, okay? The answer is that's not legal. It's not allowed. As a custodian, that money is supposed to be used all in your benefit and only for your benefit. So if they use that money for something else, the answer is you could legit kind of like sue them. So that's not allowed. But I hope that's not even an issue. But just in case you were wondering, like, what if my parent is toxic? Then you know for a fact they're not allowed to do that, and it's not legal whatsoever. Now, where do I invest my money into? Most likely, if you're watching this video, you have already been targeted by other apps out there telling you, hey, invest over here, invest over there. So off the bat, I gotta mention where not to invest, because overall, you're gonna see ads for companies like these. And by the way, they're not like bad companies, but overall, they do cost money. And whenever you're starting out, any fees are going to hurt you. So for example, you have Acorns, this costs money. You have Greenlight, this costs money. M1 Finance custodial accounts do cost money. Early Bird costs money. Stash costs money. UNES costs money. This one, never heard about it, so I can't recommend it. But over time, all of these cost you money to open up an account. And if you're just getting started, it's like stealing candy from a baby, because you need all the money to be able to invest it, because in the long run, it's going to be worth a lot of money. So I would go with the accounts that don't cost you any money, although they don't have the cool apps, the cool ads, or whatever is out there. Okay, so overall, I would go first with Charles Schwab's. This is a very trusted company. Everything is 000. You want to see that. And they have all the investments you want to invest into, from Nike, Apple, whatever it is. Everything is inside here. And they also have an app, so don't worry. On top of that, you also have Fidelity. Fidelity also has custodial accounts, which is also great and amazing. And again, it is also free, which is awesome. And also TD Ameritrade also has this stuff too. TD Ameritrade. So imagine Charles Schwab, which is this one right here. You also have Fidelity, and you also have TD Ameritrade. Those are the options I'm going to give you. Now, on top of that, you're probably wondering, well, Tommy, okay, I know how to invest, custodial account, where to invest my money into, Fidelity, Schwab's, or TD Ameritrade, but what am I actually going to be investing my money into? The answer is going to be, I recommend a Roth IRA, and you can have a custodial Roth IRA. Now, don't complicate this. It's not that complicated. A Roth IRA is a retirement account you can open up once you start earning income. You can invest your money once you pay taxes, put that money in there. And the cool thing is, it allows you to take out the money you put into it, but just don't take out the profits, because then you will be penalized. But this way, that money grows inside of that account, fully tax-free, and you take advantage of it over the long run. That's the cool thing about a Roth IRA. Now, there is a max investment. You can only invest up to $6,000 a year inside of it. So if you're making a lot more money than that, which by the way means amazing, if you're able to max it out, then you can basically just invest the rest of the money into a normal brokerage account. Now, you're probably wondering right now, Tommy, this is good stuff, but I still don't know exactly what types of investments to actually put my money into, because I heard about Nike, which is a stock. I also heard about Apple, which is also like a stock for a company. And I also heard about Tesla. So do I put my money into those companies that I like and I love and I know? The answer is no. And here's why. Because if you're investing as a teenager, the odds that those companies are going to be around 40 to 50 years from now, the answer is that is very rare. And whenever you buy a stock, you're buying a piece of the business. So if the business loses everything, you will also lose everything. So I would recommend you put your money into index funds and into ETFs. Again, don't complicate this stuff. It's not that difficult. When you put your money into one of these index funds, it's basically where people put in a lot of money to buy a lot of investments, and that way, if one company goes down, doesn't matter, because you still have a bunch of other investments. Now, I'm gonna show you, because one big thing that I always love was learning by example. And right now, I'm transparent. The entire market is down, is losing money, and when you're investing as a teenager, there will be good times, there will be bad times, but the whole goal is you gotta hold on for the long run, because that is what being an investor is all about. So me personally, I only invest into right here, these 5 investments right here, okay? You have, for example, VOO, which is basically right here, and I'm investing into the 500 largest companies in the US. I also invest into companies outside of the US, small companies in the US, also into companies that are just rising outside of the US, and on top of that, also lastly, into real estate. So when you think about my investments, just think about Tommy is invested in a way where he's invested all over the place. So this way, it's very hard for me to lose all of my money. Instead of just picking, for example, one company in the US like Nike, I invested into 500 big companies in the US. That way, if one goes down, another one comes up, and I don't have to worry, and I make whatever the US basically makes. That is the idea. So index funds and ETFs are gonna be the way. So if you wanna copy the way I invest or know the way I invest, just look at this right here, okay? Take a screenshot of it, and it shows you exactly the ticker symbols and everything like that. But on top of that, also, most importantly, there's a link down below to M1 Finance. Don't use M1 Finance for Custodial account, but you can see exactly my portfolio, my strategy there, and transfer that over into Fidelity or Schwab's or even Vanguard, which is also a great brokerage account, is also pretty solid, and they have custodial accounts also. So that is the types of investments you want to invest into, because these investments are going to outlive you, and that is what you want. You don't want to put money into something that won't be around when you basically need it, or will go down at some point and then you lose your money. Now, let's have some fun here. And my entire idea of fun is basically mathematics, because I love math. I'm a nerd or whatever. I don't really care. Okay, but for example, let's say you use one of the jobs I provided in my last video. And let's say you pick, for example, one of the small ones that can make you, for example, $500 a week. Okay, not bad, not crazy, but $500 a week, which is not crazy. Now, if you're making this, for example, every year, that's around $26,000 a year. You'll be able to make by making $500 per week. Okay, that's awesome. Stick with me here. So let's say if taxes take 20%, because you got to pay the government, and you take 20% for you to live on and buy whatever you want to buy, which is fine and normal, you get to keep 60% of the money you actually earn overall. So that is around $15,600. So if you max out the Roth IRA custodial account and the normal account, and yes, you can have multiple accounts, it is fine, and you're investing $15,600 for 4 years, how much money do you think you're actually going to have? The answer is, well, I'm going to show you guys right here, because again, I like to do everything via examples and not just like telling you guys nonsense, okay? So give me a second here. So right here, we have a compound interest calculator, which gives us all the numbers without us having to do all the math. Current principal is how much money you have, which is 0. But let's say you're going to be adding in $15,600 like I told you guys before, which is the money that's left over. And let's say you do this for 4 years. And again, this portfolio I gave you guys an average makes around 12% a year. That means you're going to make 12% on the money you invest on average per year. You have bigger ones, lower ones, but overall, over time, they'll be around 12%. When you click calculate here, at the bottom, it tells you exactly how much money you'll have overall in 4 years. That is $83,504, which is only about $40,000 less than Warren Buffett, but a ton more than the average adult. So that is awesome so far. But now let's say, for example, you're like, hey, I don't ever want to invest money again after that. So you just made this money, you're 18 years old, you're like, I never want to invest again. I'm just gonna leave that money in there for 40 years and let it do what it do, okay? So overall, guess how much money you'll have in those 40 years if you never invested anything ever again? The answer is you would have a whopping $7.7 million. And the average old person, like senior citizen at 65 years old, they have like 50, 100,000, and you have 7.7 million in there just by doing it once when you were like 18 years old and never touching the money again. That is awesome. Now, if you're crazy and you want to keep investing, the answer is, well, I'm going to keep investing at $15,600 every single year. Well, the answer is you would have a whopping, wow, that's a lot of money, okay? So, well, no, that's not correct, because you would start off with 0. But if you did that, for example, not 21 million, you would have 13 million, which is bad, okay? No, it's still a ton of money. If you ask me, that is awesome. So the point here is that just by doing nothing, you'll have 7.7 million. If you keep investing for like that long period of time, you'll have 13 million. Now, the cool thing is, this is an extra step for all the nerds out there. If you have $13 million, okay, and you just take out, for example, just 4% of that money every single year so you can basically live off of it, the answer is you would have an income of $500,000 a year. $500,000. That means per week, although you started just by earning $500 a week, you would be earning from your investments, okay, a whopping $10,000 a week. I mean, that's awesome. This is very hard to do, by the way, guys, okay? But just by doing it and being disciplined enough, you get to go ahead, and this much money is ridiculous. And it's not like, for example, well, Tommy, I have to wait until I'm basically like 60 years old to see this money. The answer is no, like not really, because even, for example, once you hit, for example, let's say you 18, you do 20 years, in 20 years, you'll have 1.2 million. So by the time you turn, for example, 38 years old, you have $1.2 million. I mean, that is amazing. Like, the only 3% of people become millionaires. I think even less. So that's not bad at all if you ask me, and it's actually quite fascinating. And if you do everything correctly, you'll just let this money build up because you'll be fine. And that is awesome. Now, there is one more lesson I want to pass on to you guys for making it all the way to this point of the video. But comment down below, I made it, so I know you made it all the way here, along with your comment or anything else, because that way I know you're actually a real person. Now, here's a lesson. When I was a teenager, I thought that becoming wealthy basically meant I needed to be a millionaire. But in reality, that's not true. The true meaning of having financial freedom where you don't have to worry about money is basically if you have your expenses be $1 and you make passively from your investments $2, you are good to go because your investments cover all of your bills so you don't have to do anything. That is what being free actually looks like. But if you want to have a Lamborghini, a mansion, a fancy wife, a fancy $10,000 dog, the more things you want, the more expensive things you're going to get and the harder things you're going to get, okay? So I recommend focus on having little wants that you actually enjoy, have a great job, have no debt, have an emergency fund fully funded, keep investing money, have a paid off home. And if you do all those things correctly, you can basically invest a ton of money, but you have so much money left over from your job that you can basically do whatever you want. Like if I make $70,000 a year, I invest half that money or whatever. I use some of the money for my investments, but I can have like $20,000, $30,000 a year just in free money to do whatever I want with it. Don't touch my investments at all. Don't worry about my bills. Just have all that money to do whatever I want to do, whether it's going on vacation, to buy a new car every single year, to do whatever you want to do. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, okay? You are 10 times better than I am. When I was a teenager, I didn't care about any of this stuff. I cared about video games. Like, that was my thing. Call of Duty, 6 hours a day. That was my thing. I didn't care about this stuff at all. Whenever I was making money, it was to do something to, like, buy clothes or buy sneakers or, like, buy a game or whatever. And then I would stop because that's basically was my goal, okay? But for you, if you're here watching this video right now, and you're 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, even 20 years old, you can do so much better than I did. So I believe in you. It is hard, it's difficult, but if you want to be different and you want to have what nobody else has, you're going to have to do things that nobody else is willing to do. So it is definitely worth it. You can do it. I believe in you. And if you have any questions, just comment down below. I made it with your question and I'll answer it right away. And I'm here to support you and to guide you. But I hope this video actually helped you a ton because I wished I saw a video like this too early on and my life would have been completely differently. Like if my teachers knew this, if my parents knew this, my life would have been so much more different. But the answer is my mistakes led to you having this information. So overall, it's worth it. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. Comment down below any questions. Up here is another video, and over here is my face. Click it and subscribe. And as always, never buy a Tommy Hilfiger shirt. They're very expensive unless you buy it from Marshalls, okay? That is it. Peace out, guys. Love you guys.